Kamala Harris's interview on the Call Her Daddy podcast has stirred various reactions and critiques. The interview has been described as raising eyebrows due to its setting on a podcast known for explicit content, with some posts on X, formerly Twitter, highlighting the perceived inappropriateness or questioning the seriousness of Harris's campaign for choosing such a platform.
Yeah.
We can sit here and dwell on something that happened to us, but then we can also say, yeah, but what could I have done in that situation to have autonomy over my life? People can do things to you, but you can only decide how you're going to react. That's all you have control over, right?
But that's exactly right. But that's exactly right. And in that way, you realize, don't let anyone take your power from you.
I just need to afford a bus ticket so I can get out of this abortion desert that I live in the South, so I can get to a state. But they can't even, you know what I mean? So it's like these people are...
Critics have pointed out that appearing on Call Her Daddy instead of more conventional political platforms might reflect poorly on Harris's campaign strategy, suggesting a misstep in appealing to voters or handling current crises, like referencing the timing with other events.
I think they've got to double down on doing more interviews and serious interviews, because what I'm hearing from Democratic and Republican business people and a lot of men, and she's got such a big problem with men. I think there's an undercount of the Trump vote. I think there is misogynation in all of this, black and white men. Big problem, but also the business world. They don't think she is serious. They don't think she's a heavyweight. And a lot of this is gender, but she's got to be more specific about her economic plan.
Recent discussions around Hillary Clinton's views on social media control have been sparked by her comments, suggesting that social media companies need to moderate content more actively. Hillary Clinton has explicitly stated that if social media platforms do not better moderate and monitor the content, there could be a loss of control. This perspective seems to stem from concerns over misinformation, the spread of harmful content, and its potential real-world impacts, like influencing elections or promoting conspiracy theories.
But if the platforms, whether it's Facebook or Twitter X or Instagram or TikTok, whatever they are, if they don't moderate and monitor the content, we lose total control. And it's not just the social and psychological effects, it's real harm.
If he loses, man, what? You're fucked, dude.
I'm fucked. If he loses, I'm fucked.
It does seem that way. You can't just be like,
I'm like, how long do you think my prison sentence is going to be? Do you think, will I see my children? I don't know.
Because it's not like you can say, well, yeah, I maxed out to him, but, I get...
I have no plausible deniability. No, and I've been trashing Kamala nonstop.
Oh, I know!
Well, the Kamala puppet, I call her, The machine that the Kamala puppet represents.
Yeah, she's irrelevant. I mean, she's not even...
No, I made a joke, which I realized I deleted, which is like, nobody's even bothering to try to kill Kamala, because it's pointless. What do you achieve? Nothing.
No, it's totally
just find
right.
another puppet.
Exactly. That's...
It's no point in killing...
It's deep and true, though.
Nobody's trying to kill Joe Biden. It would be pointless.
Totally. You actually put that up?
Yeah. Now, some people interpreted it as though I was calling for people to
of course.
assassinate her, but I was like, no, even I was like, doesn't it seem strange that no one's even bothered to try?
It's not worth it.
I mean,
there's an endless supply.
Yeah, like nobody would. It's absurd.
It could be anybody.
Yeah. Nobody's going to try to. Nobody tries to assassinate a puppet.
Of course not. A marionette.
Yeah, marionette. It's just like, It's
hilarious.
Clinton's push for more regulation might be linked to her broader critique of current Internet laws, like her mention of repealing Section 230, which protects Internet companies from liability for the content posted by users. This indicates a desire for platforms to take more responsibility for what is disseminated on their sites. FEMA's administrator has discussed the importance of addressing equity to ensure that all communities, especially those typically underserved, receive adequate support. However, this approach has led to a backlash, with critics arguing that while equity is important, it should not appear to take precedence over rapid and effective disaster response.
Sparked a few things. It in my mind thinking about preparedness and how you said, LGBTQIA people and people who have been disadvantaged already are struggling. They already have their own things to deal with. So you add a disaster on top of that. It's just compounding on itself. And I think that is maybe the why of why we're having these discussions, is because it isn't being talked about. It isn't being socialized. We're not paying attention to this community. Thank you so much. Maggie.
Thank you. There are a couple of things that are intersecting in my mind here. One of them is the culture of emergency management as an organization, as an industry in the United States specifically, not abroad. This has, and my cat sometimes does this, she gets really loud suddenly, so you'll have to just allow for the little meowing in the background. The shift that we're seeing right now is a shift in emergency management from utilitarian principles where everything is designed for the greatest good for the greatest amount of people to disaster equity. But we have to do more, right? And so this topic is intersecting, I think, with a number of other topics where we have to look at policies and understand to what extent they have disadvantaged communities that had less assets, communities that had pre-existing vulnerabilities in accessing disaster-related recovery supports.
There's been notable criticism over FEMA's strategic emphasis on equity in its disaster response framework, as outlined in its 2022 to 2026 strategic plan. Critics argue that this focus might detract from the immediate, effective disaster response, especially evident during Hurricane Helene. Various sources, including social media platforms like X, formerly Twitter, have seen users and some public figures expressing frustration, suggesting that equity initiatives might be overshadowing the urgency of disaster relief. Some X posts and public comments have accused Governor Cooper of mismanagement in previous hurricane relief efforts, suggesting a pattern of inadequate response or slow deployment of resources. For instance, there have been claims about the mismanagement of federal aid intended for victims of past hurricanes, like Matthew and Florence, and criticism for not deploying approved National Guard troops promptly during the current crisis. That's all for the news today. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more news and information.
Israelis and Palestinians can live securely side by side in a lasting peace with equal measures of safety, opportunity, and dignity. Now, moving on to the Hurricane Helene, President Biden and Vice President Harris continue to use every tool available to help communities devastated by Hurricane Helene.